The road to the FIFA World Cup is never simple, never predictable, and never completely settled until the final squad list is officially announced. And Brazil's journey toward the next World Cup is shaping up to be one of the most competitive and fascinating selection battles in recent memory. Because while a handful of players have already all but stamped their tickets to football's biggest stage, many others are still fighting fiercely to stay in contention. And for some, the dream is alive, but hanging by the thinnest of threads, which is exactly why this Brazilian squad story deserves close attention from start to finish, as new head coach Carlo Ancelotti begins to leave his mark on the Seleção, not through dramatic results alone, but through a period of intense experimentation, tactical testing, and player evaluation that has opened the door for a wide pool of talents while offering guaranteed World Cup security to only a select few. Since Ancelotti took charge of Brazil and appeared on the touchline for several matches, the most noticeable feature of his early tenure has not been wins or losses, but rather his deliberate approach to rotation, trials, and positional assessments, giving opportunities to many players while keeping final decisions firmly open, which means that despite Brazil's immense depth, very few names can currently be considered completely safe for the World Cup, and nowhere is that more evident than in the goalkeeping department, where Liverpool's Alisson Becker stands as the clear certainty, widely expected to be Brazil's #1 goalkeeper barring any unforeseen issues, thanks to his consistency, leadership, and experience at the highest level, while behind in the race remains open between Manchester City's Ederson and Bento, both of whom are currently ahead in the pecking order, competing not only for minutes, but for trust, composure, and tactical compatibility with Ancelotti's vision, while the battle for the third goalkeeper spot remains even more unpredictable, with names such as Hugo Souza, Vinicius Junior Brazil, and several others still holding realistic chances depending on form, fitness, and performance in the coming months. Moving into central defense, the picture becomes slightly clearer, as Gabriel Magalhães and Marquinhos have effectively secured their places in the World Cup squad, forming the backbone of Brazil's defensive structure. And if Eder Militao can maintain his fitness, he is expected to join them as a key option, giving Brazil a blend of physicality, composure, and elite-level experience at center back. While the competition for the fourth central defender spot remains fierce with Leo Ortiz, Beraldo, and Bremer currently leading the race, each offering different profiles and strengths, from tactical intelligence to aerial dominance, while Fabricio Bruno, Alexandre Ribeiro, and Murilo also remain in contention, though their chances appear slimmer unless they deliver standout performances at club and international level that force the coaching staff to reconsider. The fullback positions, however, tell a very different story, particularly on the left side, where no player has yet managed to fully convince or secure a guaranteed spot, making it one of the most open battles in the squad, as Douglas Santos, Alexandro, Caio Henrique, and Carlos Augusto are all still very much in the running, with no clear frontrunner among them, meaning that upcoming international windows, especially after March, will likely be decisive in determining who edges ahead and who falls behind, as Ancelotti closely evaluates consistency, defensive reliability, and attacking contribution, while on the right flank the situation is more settled, with Van der Sar and Wesley both looking close to confirmation for World Cup inclusion, supported by strong performances and tactical suitability, though competition remains alive with players such as Vitinha, Danilo, and Dodo still pushing hard, alongside potential outside contenders who could emerge if injuries or form fluctuations change the landscape. In midfield, Brazil's foundation appears far more stable, as Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes have already carved out near certain places in the squad, offering a balance of defensive steel, leadership, and progressive play, while Chelsea Santos is also widely expected to be included, forming a solid core around which the rest of the midfield battle revolves. And the question now shifts to who will join them as complementary pieces, with players like Andre, Cunha, Paqueta, and Pedro currently leading the World Cup race due to their versatility, tactical intelligence, and ability to influence games in multiple phases, while names such as Andreas Pereira and João Gomes remain strong contenders who could easily force their way into the final list with sustained performances, even as questions linger over whether players outside the immediate spotlight, such as Matheus Martinelli, Bruno Guimaraes, or Gabriel Sara, will receive call-ups, making the midfield selection a true test of balance, creativity, and physical presence for Ancelotti. When attention turns to the attacking unit, the level of competition intensifies even further, though a few names appear almost impossible to ignore, with Vinicius Júnior and Rafinha both widely considered to have their World Cup tickets nearly confirmed due to their impact, consistency, and experience at the highest level of club football. While young sensation Estevao is also expected to be part of the squad if everything progresses smoothly, marking a new generation's arrival in the world stage, with Gabriel Martinelli and Rodrigo positioned just behind them in the hierarchy, both offering explosive pace, versatility, and proven ability in big matches. Yet the race remains crowded, as Neymar's name inevitably enters the conversation, with the iconic forward still very much in the running if fitness and form allow, alongside other attacking talents such as Luis Enrique, Savio, Antony, and Igor Paisao, all of whom continue to fight for relevance and opportunity in an incredibly competitive environment. The most uncertain area of all, however, may well be the number 9 position, where no single striker has yet managed to secure a definitive place, leaving the door open for a range of candidates including Richarlison, Igor Jesus, Vitor Roque, Marcos Leonardo, and Igor Thiago, none of whom are guaranteed selection, but all of whom remain firmly in contention, knowing that a strong run of form, timely goals, and tactical compatibility could be enough to convince the coaching staff, making this one of the most unpredictable battles in the entire squad. Taken as a whole, Brazil's World Cup squad selection process under Carlo Ancelotti is shaping up to be one of the most challenging tasks of his illustrious managerial career, as he must weigh experience against youth, consistency against potential, and tactical balance against individual brilliance, all while managing expectations in a football-obsessed nation where every decision is scrutinized, debated, and remembered. And as the countdown to the final squad announcement continues, one thing remains clear. While some players can already start packing their bags, many others still have everything to play for, and the final list will ultimately reflect not just talent, but timing, form, fitness, and the strategic vision of one of football's most legendary coaches, leaving fans around the world waiting eagerly to see which performers earn the honor of representing Brazil on the biggest stage of them all.